Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm going to do a quick tutorial on how to do a mermaid tail ring dish. They're a lot of fun. I think you can see that. And they're super easy. And my customers really seem to love them. So I'm going to get started here. I already did my mermaid tail molds. Here's a couple of the mermaid tails I did. And I used the clear mold because it is a little bit shinier. The pink molds tend to be a little flat and there's not much shine. You can shine them up with a little bit of like clear nail polish, and then I also use mica powders for my water. So I'll be using 3 different ones today. And then I use a little bit of a goldish glitter. This is a new one I'm trying for the sand. And then a little drop of Alumilite white epoxy dye. And that helps with giving my little, I don't know what you call it, where the water breaks on the sand. And then I put my little embellishments after it sets up a little bit. So let's go ahead and get started. I already put my mermaid tail, it's already glued down with the little E600. So now I'm gonna mix all my epoxy, all my, what do you call them? My glitters and my micas and all that. Now I mixed a little more than you'll actually need. I just used the leftover to make more mermaid tails. And then I'm ready to do them when somebody orders one. Okay, let's see, we're gonna need a little bit of blue. Do a little bit more of each. I'd say probably I use 20 to 30 ml by the time I'm done. So then I just mix each one up. You can kind of see what it's going to look like when you... And what I like about Artworks epoxy is that it's a medium viscosity and it does set up a little bit quicker than most, which is nice. You don't have to wait as long to do your embellishments. And this is nice too. It's a nice project because you can basically do it in one day. It's basically, you do it, you let it sit overnight, and it's ready to go. Now this is a teal, which is really pretty because it's got a little bit of a blue, it's kind of hard to see, a little bit of an iridescent bluish green, which really, really looks pretty for water. Looks like a Caribbean sea. Okay. So all I'm doing is I'm just going to mix all these up and I'm going to start pouring where I want them to go. And this is a really pretty blue too. This is a good deep sea blue. If you can see that, my lights are horrible. Sorry about that. If you can see that. It's got a really pretty iridescence to it. Okay, mix up the epoxy dye. You won't use much of this at all. I apply it with a small stick or a silicone brush and just maybe a little line of it. Okay, and now for the sand. This is really pretty color. It's not as dark as what I usually use, so I think I might like this a little better. You gotta be careful, you don't want to over pour because then it all runs all over the place. All right, so usually I start with my sand first, and I kind of go back and forth between my sand and my water. So hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. Can you see that? Okay, so I'm just gonna go in front of, I put the mermaid tail back a little ways so I have a little more room for the sand. So what I'm gonna do is just pour a little bit around here, and that's probably gonna be enough. And you can just take your sticks and just kind of move it where you want it. And it's gonna kind of do its own thing. I don't really shape it too much. We can clean off the edges when we're done. And then I'm gonna take a little bit of this, the green color, and we're just gonna go maybe like that, a little tiny bit. And then I'm gonna take the darker one and go around here, and they're all gonna kind of run and meld together. And then I'll use a little bit of a lighter blue over here. And maybe a little bit more of the dark. There we go. Just kind of a little more of the green. Fill it in right there a little bit. Okay, now see, I like the way it looks without really messing with it too much. It just looks more natural. So then I'm going to clean up these little edges real quick. And you can move it and, you know, kind of do, you can kind of tilt it and make it go different directions. But so far you can see what it's doing. It just kind of makes its own form. It's really pretty. Okay, so now I'm going to take one of my silicone brushes, and I'm just going to use the white, and I'm just going to go across right in front of the sand, because it's kind of where you want the sand and the water to meet, where the water comes crashing down. And I just kind of do it in a non, you know, it doesn't have to be in any straight line or anything. Okay. And then what I do is take my heat gun and I kind of put it on the white to help move the white around and give it some of those little cells you get. I'm trying to do this so you can see it, but I just kind of want to separate the white a little bit. And then you can kind of see, I don't know if you can see that really well. If you look up close, you can really see the cells in the white. It's actually really cool. Let me turn it around. Turn. There we go. I hope you can see that. It's really just cool. And that's really all you do for now. And then you let it set up for, I don't know, I usually let mine set up for probably about 40 minutes. And then I'll come back and I'll use my little starfish and what else do I have? I have the little pearls. And then I also, which I think are super cute, is these little tiny, they're little sand dollars. So I like to use those. So we'll put those later after it dries a little, or sets up a little bit. And we'll come back and we'll do that. And you just literally just set them on there. This shell's big enough that it won't sink. So we can actually just put that on now. And you just put them wherever you want. Since it's not very deep, I just laid it right in there. And I'll put a starfish over here and, you know, maybe move this over a little bit. And it'll go around it. The starfish is pretty flat though, so you want it to set up a little bit before you put it on there. It'll sink and get covered. So for now, that's it. We'll come back and put the embellishments on, and then we'll let it sit overnight and we'll have a finished product. Okay, and here it is. I just dropped on my little embellishments wherever I wanted to put them, usually on the sand, makes sense. And when you do your mermaid tail, I mix my epoxy with the glitter, then pour it into the mold. I think that gives you the best results. So you can see the water just kind of did its own thing. And you can help it. You can take a toothpick and move it around. Kind of looks like she's jumping in the water. Okay guys, well thanks very much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.